Hey, Mom. Hey, Mom. Hey, everybody. What's up? How's everybody doing, man? What's up? Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a good weekend out there, man. Welcome in. We'll get started in just 1 second. We'll probably be live for a minute today. We probably be live for a minute today. All right, man. All right. Let's get into it. All right. Welcome to another episode of the Jayson Estrera podcast, where we talk about basketball as accurate as possible. Now, it's a Monday. So welcome back. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I hope everybody had if you were outside, you had fun. If you were inside, you got some rest. Whatever it was you were getting into this weekend, I hope you had a great time. So we got a couple of things to talk about today. Honestly, I'm probably the only creator that would go back-to-back days talking about defense. I gotta be the only one. I couldn't imagine any other creator willingly talking about defense on, consecutive episodes. But here we are. I think I was talking a couple weeks ago about how I go through phases, right? My post NBA season, I go through phases, right? It's always happened, and I'm pretty sure it'll always happen. I go through the immediate shock of, obviously there's no more basketball to watch, right? So I'm rewatching highlights from everyone that just played, right? Everyone this current season, and then I start going back to my era, and then you 90s, and then at some point, at some point, by the time I hit like Michael Jordan and I'm watching Kobe, the point after that is me watching a whole bunch of defense. And typically I feel like this don't really come until like the very end of August into September, but here we are already. It's coming early for me this year. It's coming early for me. So yeah, that's what's been consuming my brain. I'm watching Draymond Green defensive videos. I'm taking notes on him and Jimmy Butler. My dad will always laugh. He will always laugh because there'd always be a moment, right? When I was at my parents' house. Um, I'm watching Scottie Pippen highlights. He's like, what are you doing? You know what I should do? I should have him on sometime and talk about some of this shit. And so you guys, so you guys could believe me and see that I'm not capping. That I'm not capping. I've always been like that. So yeah, y'all gonna get a peek into my brain and what goes on in the NBA offseason. But before we get into that, um, let's get into some international basketball news. Now, there's a number of guys that are playing international or, with their international team right now. Luka has been the biggest news probably. But, Giannis had made news because of this incident right here. Let's take a watch. So, like, what do you do in that situation? Giannis is all of 7 feet, however much he weighed, 250 or whatever. Like, what do you do with that? What do you do with that? You you keep listening to the huddle. You do exactly what they did, and you just pretend like it didn't happen. You pretend it didn't happen because one, you don't want to fight him. Two, he could drop you from the team. So regardless of how you look at it, you can't. Honestly, the thing about Giannis, and this has been very consistent. He's a lot like these stars, right? These superstars that we've had, these great all-time great players where on camera in front of all of us, it's it's the $1 million smile, it's the great energy, it's the positive, it's being positive. They always say the right things, right? All of those things are apply. But in competition, they turn into a completely different person. Now, I'm not saying this is good or bad, right? I'm not saying that this is good or bad. What I will say is people obviously had a reaction, but it wasn't to the point where we're fighting. Now, that's either a sign of fear, that's either a sign of fear or respect, because either this player was on some bullshit and needed to be called out for it, or Giannis just has one of those voices where when he talks, you listen, right? And so, without having the context of, let's see, without having that context, I feel like it's a little bit hard to judge. Let's see. I wonder if there's anything on it. Okay, so apparently they've a lighthearted gesture. Honestly, this kind of goes with what I just said. Like, his teammate was on, hey, you play too much. Listen, it's very easy from our perspective to just, hey, Giannis, you shouldn't have done that. But we've all had a teammate or a friend or someone that we are around that just, you play too much at the wrong time. We've all had that person. And, you know, that might have just been like, hey, man, what the fuck are you doing, man? That might have just been one of those situations. So there isn't really anything else. Let's see. Doesn't say anything. Yeah, everyone keeps saying it was playful. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't really put too much into that because there was no reaction out of the teammates, right? I think that should tell you a lot. I say all the time too, right? When you watch games, there are plenty of moments where the fans and the viewers complain about the star player or the best offensive player taking a whole bunch of shots. Their teammates never mind. Everyone else does, right? So how we look at this from the outside looking in, it could be completely different from what's going on within that circle, within that specific huddle in this instance. So, yeah, like I said, if you've watched Giannis at all, you would realize very quickly he has a switch, right? And he can be a nice guy, but that only goes so far. He is a mean dude, and he plays like it. Right, he don't take no shit from his opponents or his teammates. So that's just how I view that moment. Now, from one star to another, Luka Doncic, who's been making rounds because of his weight loss, his body transformation, if you will, and he's recently been playing for Slovenia. So let's take a look at what happened here. Scary moment.
Zorix. Tokrat je
A scary moment right here.
zavrnil blokado, ki jo je postavil Porzingis, potem se je zrušila slovenska obramba sama vase, pa še težave Dončića, na katerega je padel Hrovat. Upajmo, da bo z Luko vse v redu, zahteva menjavo in je tule očitno v bolečinah. Tudi Saša ima dober položaj, da lahko vse skupaj od blizu pospremi.
Ja, problem je temu, ker v bistvu Luka je stal za Hrvatom in Hrvat je v bistvu nekako nekontroliral padel nazaj na koleno. Ja. In to zna biti veliko, ko se zgodi taka situacija do poškodbo.
So all reports are saying that there's nothing serious. It's nothing severe. If I'm the Lakers, y'all would need the entire country to stop the team I'm sending to bring Luka back to LA. I'm just being honest. And listen, I have absolutely no problems. I was going back and forth with people on this last summer because I thought Luka should have sat out, and it wasn't because I didn't think he should be playing for his national team. It's because he was hurt. He was hurt. And this is the gamble, right? If I'm LA, he's coming home. If I'm the Lakers, you know, you can't fault him for wanting to play, but you also can't fault a team for not wanting their player to go there, right? Because you expose them to that. Now, I've been in support of him playing these games, actually, because I think he needs the tune-up. He needs to get in rhythm. You know, going into game one, being in mid-January form would be a big deal. It would be a big deal. And when you talk about having an unbelievable season, those are the kind of things that can really propel you into having a great year, where you're not spending the first month and a half of the NBA season getting in rhythm. You are in rhythm game one. That's how you have those historic type of years. And that's what I thought Luka was going to have. Now, I'm really curious how they play this, because, like I said, if I'm LA, he's sitting. The last thing that you would want is for him to have this minor lingering knee injury that's not severe enough to sit down, but he plays another 6, 7, however many games they have left, and then goes into training camp and then game one. And now you run the risk of someone really getting hurt in the early part of the season, right? Because sometimes you really do need to just sit down and do nothing with these injuries. So I'm really curious as to how they play this. I'm sure Luka's gonna want to play. Right knee contusion. He's expected to recover quickly. Let's see. Yeah, that really wasn't helpful, but let's see. What is Lucas? Didn't return, but he's gonna be just fine. Just a contusion, aka a bruise. In 10 days. So they don't play for another 10 days is when their first actual game is. So he actually has time right now to sit the fuck down. Which again, it could be helpful. It's this fine. It's this balance of resting and training, because you got to think he's been training really hard to have lost all of this weight. Maybe he could use a couple days of resting, right? Maybe that's something that really could benefit him going into these high intensity games, you know, playing for your country, and then going into training camp. So we'll see what happens in 10 days. I doubt he does any basketball stuff for the next couple days. I'm sure it's all recovery, rest. And I'm sure LA probably made a call. At least if I'm LA, hey, yeah. We actually just saw what happened. Yeah. How is he doing? Oh, he's doing good. Okay. So what is it? Could we have your staff send over to our staff what, you know, some the x-rays, whatever tests you guys ran? Like, they're gonna know that I need to know exactly what's going on, right? I get that he's playing for your country. He's my player and I'm paying for him, like, unfortunately. So that's how I would deal with that situation. I would really be invested into how he's being handled moving forward with a day-to-day update on his health and his progression. But, you know, a rough day for the international guys. Now, Let's see. And I want to pull this up. Okay. All right. I want to make sure I pulled that up first. Now, a lot of people have asked this question, right? What would you rather have? What career would you rather have? Would you rather have a whole bunch of rings, but you were never the guy? Or would you rather be the guy, but didn't get a ring? Or maybe you get one later on. So in this particular instance, we're talking about Klay Thompson and Paul George. So let's take a look at this little exchange that they had, and then we'll talk about it.
Some breaks with injuries. I mean, Paul and I have been through it, but just lucky to still be going for 5. Like, when I say that, I have no complaints. Like, I'll do it all over again, injuries and all, because we're here. And I'm still together with the guys that came in with Steph and Dre. Andre and Steve is special.
Damn, that hurt.
Oh, when you snapped your shit?
I had 6 surgeries.
I was going to tell you. I couldn't wait to tell you, bro. Like, you really inspired me. I was there when that happened, bro.
You got rings to show for it.
Yeah, but I never had to carry a franchise like you, bro.
Yeah.
You know, that's different.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I got rings to you got rings to show for it, and then Klay responds by saying, "But I never had to carry a franchise." To the average fan that thinks that these things do not matter, that should tell you everything right there. Klay Thompson's situation, how it went, how it ended, some of the comments that he's made, he's not Scottie Pippen at all, right? The way Scottie has kind of spoken about Michael Jordan in that scenario. But growing up, everyone that has ever had a dream of becoming an NBA player, in every single one of your dreams, it involved not just you carrying that championship trophy, the Larry O'Brien trophy, but that dream also comes with you carrying that MVP award. That's just reality, right? Now, 99% of these guys don't become that, right? Where you're the best player on the best team. And, guys have spoken about the amount of how humbled they have to get to reach that point where they're okay with just being one of the guys and not the guy. That's a real struggle that goes on in the league, and it's a human struggle, right? Everyone wants to be the guy. And I think it's very easy as a fan to say, I would take Klay Thompson's career. He got the rings, he got money, he got this, he got... But did you see the way Klay Thompson said, but you got to carry a franchise? Compared to a person that never got that opportunity. it's a real thing that happens, and I think it doesn't get spoken about enough. Now, again, if it were me, for example, do I take, let's see how much Klay has made in his career. Do I take the $266 million over a 13-year career with 4 championship rings? Or do I take the $354 million that Paul George has made approximately through his career, but I've went toe-to-toe against LeBron? I've been in MVP conversations. I'm the one that's sought after during these free agency and these trade talks. Again, I said it last year. Luka Doncic goes out for early on in Dallas. Not a single person said, oh, Dallas is going to be okay because of Kyrie and Klay Thompson. As great as those players are, as great and as respected as Kyrie Irving is, as soon as Luka goes down, no one's like, oh, they'll be fine. When they trade Luka and it's Anthony Davis, and then Anthony Davis gets hurt, they're not saying, oh, Klay could take care of this. No one looks at him like that. As good as he is, no one has ever looked at him like that. And I think that really does, there's value in that to players. That's why the list that the players have versus the list that the fans and the media have, they're 2 totally different lists. The players they respect, totally different. You know, the other thing about Paul George, and I know a lot of people won't like this, like Melo has had to deal with it. He's Cayenne's favorite player. Not Cayenne's favorite player is not Carmelo Anthony. It's not his dad. His GOAT is Paul George. There's a lot of guys in the league right now, that have modeled their game after Paul George. That is a level of respect. That is a level of love that it's hard to replace. Because, and I've said this about Steph Curry, I've said this about Klay Thompson. As great as these players are, and wow, my voice super cracked right there. But as great as these players are, no one tries to play like them. No one goes out to train. No one went out to train this morning and said, I'm going to go and try to be like Klay Thompson today. That's just the reality. And even the people that say they want to play like Steph Curry, they don't. They don't. People don't play nothing like Steph Curry. And so Paul George has that too. He's your favorite player's favorite player. He's one of those type of guys. So this one really is hard. I would love to say Klay Thompson. But I think that person in me that grew up wanting to be the best player, wanting to be the best, or at least competing for it, on an individual scale, I think Paul George's career, it's something. It's definitely something. There's definitely something to it. There's definitely something to it. Like, imagine you go, and again, the money is one thing, but for players to come up and say, you are my favorite player growing up, I was trying to play like you. And then they make it to the league. You were their favorite player. They were trying to make it, they were trying to play like you. And then they make the league. Like that's love. That's love that we can't. I don't know what that feels like. I don't know what that feels like. right? And even like I think a Tracy McGrady gets something very similar where he's your favorite player's favorite player growing up. And people wanted to play like T-Mac. Right? Like that's the thing about Kobe. Why like everyone wanted to be like Kobe. So championships, again, Klay Thompson or Paul George's career. I want to say Klay. Damn, you get into some of those big games that Klay's had. Excuse me. Damn, but Klay still got the 37 and a quarter, 60-point games. Like, he's still got that respect from players. He's still got that respect. But I'm sure there's also players that look at him like, if you weren't on the Warriors, you wouldn't have been able to do that. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. That's a really tough one. Again, on multiple occasions, we've seen, these players. I'm not gonna say that they don't care about the chip, but even the guys with the rings still envy these guys who are able to kind of be the guy and not get a ring. Like, again, there's something to that, right? There's something to that. But we're gonna keep talking about the Warriors. We're gonna switch gears a little bit. A lot of that was offensive talk. We're talking a lot about offense. But I think it's defense doesn't get spoken about enough. And I think that's a very obvious thing. I think oftentimes when the media talks about defense, they really dumb it down. Right? They really dumb it down to it's just effort. And granted, that is a massive part of it. Right? But okay, where was the effort lacking? Where should they have been? Right? Anytime I speak about defense, it's about positioning. Can a player be at the right spot to prevent something from happening? Right? To prevent something from happening. And, the Warriors it was this very big thing because the Warriors got so much better after they got Jimmy Butler. This is the April 15th. Let's see. Let me see their field goals. Is there a way to filter this? All right, misses. Okay, cool. All right, so okay, cool. Perfect. We can just go through misses right here. All right. That's cool. So we're just going to go through, and again, I don't want to get caught with copyright strikes, but we're going to go through these highlights, and these are going to be, this is from April 15th. Golden State Warriors versus the Memphis Grizzlies. And we're going through the Memphis misses, and we are going to be watching Draymond and and Jimmy Butler on these offensive possessions, on these defensive possessions. Sorry. My almighty Pookie. Was good, Derpy. Was good. Was good. Was good. Was good. All right. All right. Let's start watching some of these clips. So, fast break situation, right? Fast break situation. Jimmy is calling out this side of the floor, right? Because he understands right now that he needs to play essentially the middle of the floor, right? If we can keep Bane to that side, if we could keep Desmond Bane to that side, it limits the kind of things that he'll do. And again, the biggest thing that I keep saying, that I keep preaching on defense is not overplaying, right? And that's something that's very consistent with Draymond and Jimmy. You very rarely see them overextend or overcommit to plays unless they are fully committing to something, right? They stay at home as long as they can until they need to make a move. It's football season, gang, and in the WNBA, it's dildo season. LMAO. Listen, bro. The WNBA is going through a rough patch right now. But you see these two, and honestly, it's beautiful the way these guys work on defense, the way they work together. Right? A lot of guys, they would have doubled already. A lot of guys, they would have doubled already. Well, you'll see someone in Draymond, you'll usually see this guy take an extra step or two over too far, which now leaves this guy open for a three or, you know, a baseline cut. But again, instead of seeing that, we're seeing them essentially play space and stay at home until they need to make a play. And in this case, it forces Desmond Bane to throw up some bullshit because neither one of them are overextending, right?
One in the league in this month. Green knocks it away off the miss.
Let's see this play right here.
Morant scored 20.
Again, Draymond choosing to be the low man in this situation. Jimmy is on Zach Edey. I think these two, it's beautiful to watch them play defense. And also the constant, again, the balance of not overreacting to everything, but constantly moving. You never see them standing there and just watching, right? They're always reading, they're always reacting, trying to pick the play apart. So we see here, Draymond says, no, I'm the low man. I can get out to him. You stay out to the slot. Jimmy is trying to stay close without having to come off of his body. Draymond says, Trent. Talk about your shoe selection. Where did you get the shells? Oh shit, my boy, you want to see it? That's straight out of IKEA, bro. Straight out of IKEA. Straight out of IKEA. I appreciate that. That's love. I appreciate that. That's love. I mean, one of these episodes, actually, Trent, it's funny you say that. I forget what episode it was. It was during the finals, but I think I started crashing out over some. I started crashing out. Oh, it was the GOAT. It was the GOAT debate. It was the Jordan LeBron debate. And I'm trying to give Bron props. And I'm like, I know I could be a Bron hater. But like for me to give LeBron props, and then I started pulling out all my J's because it's like, hey, I'm a Jordan fan. So when I give Bron props, like, listen. Yeah, but from the original 23 to the Warriors 23. Where were the shelves called here? Let me try to find it actually real quick. I got you. I got you, fam, right here. I got you, Trent. I got you, bro, right here. Where's the name for it? Lack wall shelf unit. Right here, IKEA. You got that, bro? I think there's also a way to... I think I've seen people put this, like, I think you could put them, like, sideways or something also. Some weird, but... they have it in different colors. They have like the wood color also. They have the black. Yeah, bro. Here you go. Here you go. Yep. That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. I got you. 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 Hey man, we don't gatekeep over here. We try to share. We try to spread the love and share. We try to spread the love and share. What are we talking about right here? What are we talking? Oh, yeah, this is the play-in game. What the? No, that's not where we were. That's not where we were. Oh, this is where we were. What is this? Oh, this is the Draymond helping out. This is Draymond helping out. So he was the low man. I think also, and we were watching this with Luka the other day. Not only is Luka a liability on the ball, but anytime Luka was the low man, it was essentially so free because he wasn't gonna step up to help on the drive, and he wasn't gonna get out on the shooter. He was quite essentially a cone that would stand right there. And you see Draymond being proactive. A lot of guys they'll look to move up after this guy gets beat, and you can see Draymond is already looking to help out on this. Sees Jimmy helping out, right? Like that. Again, we got to watch all of these little things of the game because oftentimes what you'll see is both of these guys will contest. Draymond Green reading the situation lets Jimmy contest. Jimmy does the one of those where he's like, I'm a fake contest, but I'm going to pull it back. And what does Draymond do? Box out. And you know, Ja got a great shot out of that, right? He had a great shot out of that. But, you know, but again, he had to hit an unbelievable shot in order to, he had to make a great play, and these two still tried their best to salvage it, right? They still did their very best to salvage it. So, we got to watch how they are in defense. I also wanted to pull up, where is this? Is this the Thunder? How many turnovers did the Nuggets have this game? Let's look at the turnovers that the Nuggets had. Again, I think that the Thunder did a lot of this as well, too. If you watch them throughout the playoffs, one thing that I thought they did exceptionally well. And here's the other thing, right, about defenses. Sometimes it feels like there isn't that much strategy anymore. What I mean by that is this. You have a Jokic. You can't let him get everything, right? So one of your strategies are, okay, our strategy, our goal this game is he doesn't score, right? Which means we're going to double him, we're going to trap him, we're going to blitz him, whatever that philosophy, that plan is. Have someone else beat us. Okay, if they win or lose that game, will determine how you're going to adjust for the following game, right? So if you guys lose, for example, all right, well, let's try to now let Jokic score, and let's try to keep everyone else at bay, right? Let's not let everyone else get off. Let Jokic have 37, a bunch of turnovers, and like 5 assists. Let's not let him get 10, 12 assists. And the defense changes as you game plan. And you could tell the way the Oklahoma City Thunder were playing the Denver Nuggets. It wasn't the same look game after game, and I really enjoyed and appreciated watching that, because someone like Jokic and these players now, if you give them the same look, they will destroy you. So let's watch the Oklahoma City Thunder. They also did a great job of not overextended. They are literally 5 players connected on the floor.
5 games.
High pick and roll. Instead of chasing because he sees Hartenstein is dropping, Lu Dort stays. Right? Now Lu Dort is, look, he knows what's about to happen. He knows what he's looking for, right? You got to get body on body because he's going to try to do this. And he gets a steal.
And the mismatch, but Dort, who's one of the best defensive players in the game, got the steal.
I think I remember this.
Here's Jokic driving.
Again, this is great because you are just trusting your teammates. A lot of times guys will overhelp in a situation like this. That's how you get wide open corner threes. If he were to, let's say Shea were to really come over and help. Wide open, 21 would have to rotate over. You get a shot over here or a drive. But instead, everyone stays at home. No one's overextending. No one's doing too much. You get a turnover.
Broken up beautifully by Jalen Williams. Wallace lays it in with the left hand.
Incredible skill.
Let's get one more in here.
Balance to come out of that spin.
40 seconds left. 12 seconds on the shot clock. High pick and roll for Russ. They flip it last second. Let's see right here. Shea's in a spot to help out. He comes over. Shea's gonna now come help out the dunker. I mean, it's just, everyone is just. But like, look at when he's starting to move over. Look at the beginning of this play. Just watch where Wiggins is. He starts over here. He's toe tapping, right? If you don't know why they do that, right, it's so you don't get the what is it? The 5 second, the 3 second violation, the 3 in the key. He's already rotating over. Not late. If anything, Shea should have been lower, actually, if anything, but they just played this so well.
Westbrook again driving, turns it over.
So, if there is anything to take away from this, if you are a young player, right? If you are a young player, one, communicating, right? Communicate. Because if you are able to communicate what's going on behind your teammates, they're able to react a lot better. They're able to make decisions better. The other part is trust, right? The other part is trust. The reason why you'll see players be out of position on defense a lot of times is a lack of trust. They expect that person to get beat off the dribble. So they're helping out early. They are helping out so early because Luka Doncic, for example, I expect I expect whoever Luka's defending is going to get right by him. So me knowing that, I have to creep over and help out. And now what does that do? That creates an opening for my guy. that forces someone else to be in rotation. That is how that happens, right? And again, for someone like Luka, who we were breaking down the other day, his defense, who he is out of position a lot. He is out of position a lot. He is ball watching a lot. And so I think what ends up happening is the players around him really feel the need to have to overcompensate and help. Oh, this is a great example. This is a great example right here. Right? Two-man game on one side of the floor. Two-man game. Look at Chet. Look at Chet before there's contact on the pick and roll. Chet is already saying, hey, Alex, you got him. Which essentially means Alex Caruso knows what this means already. Right? Alex Caruso already knows that this means he has these two guys. He has these two guys. Jalen Williams, who's watching this, is saying, Aaron Gordon likes to be in the dunker. I have to prevent him from an offensive rebound, an alley-oop, a duck in. Like, they're reading this before there's contact on the pick and roll. Let it play out. Now, again, Chet Holmgren makes the play. Alex Caruso and Jalen Williams are so important in this situation.
You heard Mark Daigneault say.
Cool. He reacts and plays. What do his teammates do? No one overreacts. They trust that he will not only make the play, but that he's going to stop him. And so if we stay at home, he's going to have nowhere to go.
They're going to let us play. Well, that was in the first quarter, not in the.
At this point, Jamal Murray is saying someone's supposed to be open. I can't pass to him. And if you're looking, because he tried to bring the ball back, he's probably going to try to get it to a left hand, which he doesn't really want to either. So the way he was kind of turning, he's either going to go for a shot, or Jamal Murray likes to turn on his layups or jump shots, and he probably would have tried to hit Christian Brown right here. Aaron Gordon understanding what's going in the situation, trying to prevent someone from getting out over here. Like, OKC has all of their bases covered. All of their bases covered. And it literally just comes from staying at home. Let's let this play out one more time. The communication, these two guys staying at home, and they make the play.
Second quarter. Legs, you heard Mark Daigneault say to Katie, they're going to let us play. Well, that was in the first quarter, not in the second. A lot more whistles here in this frame. Another Denver turnover, alley-oop, Holmgren over Jokic.
Like I've said it before, I think there's a misconception with these games, right? Because of highlights, because of that culture of highlights, the idea of making the simple play, of not doing too much, kind of gets lost. Because I truly believe this. You know, the champions, those people that win all the time, it's not because they're making more plays than you. It's because they're making less mistakes. It's not because they're making more plays than you. It's because they're making less mistakes. Like that's really what it comes down to. And that's really what defense comes down to. Right? It's not about hitting the gap and getting the steal. If we'll go to this for example, right? It's not about getting this steal, right? Like, let's say if Caruso were over a step or two, Michael Porter Jr. is wide open. Now, maybe Alex Caruso, if he were over here, maybe he can read that and make the steal on the play. And it's a great play. Everyone's like, whoa, unbelievable play. Or you could just be in the right fucking spot. You could just be in the right spot that prevents a play. Right? If you're at the right spot at the right time, you don't have to make that play. And I get you don't get the highlight, you don't get the applause or the praise. But you win basketball games. That's just what it comes down to. Right? That's just what it comes down to. Like, this highlight culture, I think, has kind of fostered that way of thinking. And let me see. Excuse me. Let's see. Trying to find some more plays where these are good examples. Like for Draymond, it was such a cheat code that, you know, he has Jimmy Butler now, but he had Andre Iguodala back then. It was the same. It was the same idea, right? You have these players, these guys that they just have an understanding of how to fill gaps properly on the floor, right? I think that's why it's great to watch Draymond Green. He's not this super freak of an athlete that's jumping all over the place. He's a guy that genuinely has to be in the right place at the right time.
Taking Delly out early.
Draymond staying at the nail. Harrison Barnes
trying to conserve some energy.
Again, not trying to do too much, right? Not trying to do too much. Draymond is. And Draymond is a part of a lot of these stops. Look what happens when he is late. So, wait, why does it do that? Why does it just like jump around and shit? So, you know, I think that's the number one thing that we could take away from defense from these guys is do your homework, be at the right place at the right time, don't do too much. Right? It's the same way with scoring where people want to do a tween hezzy into a step back three when you could have just taken the one dribble pull up and you would have gotten the same exact outcome. You would have got the same exact outcome. It's to just make the easy play, to make the right play. It'll make it easier on yourself and the rest of the guys around you. Now, let's go through Reddit, man. Let's do a little Reddit read. Let's see. How do you rate Scotty Barnes, and what do you think his ceiling is? Interesting.
A lot of people think he's going to have a breakout season. Many people also think he has special needs.
I gotta testify. Come up in the spot looking
City boy.
for the day I die. I'ma touch the sky.
Like, bro, what?
Gotta testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly.
Okay.
Come up in the spot looking extra fly.
Wait, the taking a charge. Yeah. Taking a charge from that far away is crazy. Nah, bro, I'm not about to get no dog, like what? Am I crazy for having the Clippers as this clear second best West team? Let's see what this guy's got to say. The Clippers won 50 games last year with Kawhi missing a whole leap of time and Powell in and out, and just had one of the best off seasons in the league. They added a 4, which they've been missing, and allows Kawhi to play the 3 again. Added a good backup big. Replaced Norwood Beal and added CP3, who by all metrics was the Spurs' second most impactful player last year. Their team is deep as hell. In 2019, maybe. On paper, their roster is scary. I don't know. They won 50 games last year. It took Denver to 7, who took the champs to 7. They got a lot better this offseason. Come on, man. See, when it comes to this conversation, this all hinges on Kawhi Leonard. If you're having this conversation with me, it's because you're telling me you expect Kawhi Leonard to be completely healthy and to be the dominant Kawhi Leonard that we've seen in stretches. Because, and this is no disrespect to Chris Paul, this is no disrespect to James Harden. This has nothing to do with y'all. I don't want to hear Bradley Beal. This all hinges on Kawhi Leonard, and that is why I don't see them like that, because his health has been in question for a long time. Luka's been cleared to play for Slovenia in Tuesday night's home game against Great Britain. I would not play him if I were them, though. I just checked their roster. They have a former tennis player on their team. Not gonna lie, it looks rough. Oh, he can play then. Oh, he can play. He played against a tennis player. I mean, we just had this talk.
So much more of a dynamic team when D. White is asserting himself and being aggressive.
The court for myself, and we're just doing a good job of having good spacing, letting them do what they do, and
It was for him that phone.
Hey, man, I gotta see their reaction.
6 points in this one, 11 out of 6.
Look at Shaq. Yeah, Shaq talking about
16 from the floor, 2 out of 5.
look.
Captain and then Derek White or Stephen A. Damn, Derek. We love you, Stephen A.
That's comedy. Yo, that's why he went bald, bro.
He play for the Celtics. He do first take in the morning and play for the Celtics. Guys averaging 25 points a game in the series.
25 a game.
And here are these guys going like this.
That's amazing. But you know what the crazy part about that is?
What?
Yeah, he combed it like that.
That's the crazy part about it. He's talking about the crazy part about Derek White's game is
That could be Malcolm Brogdon.
that could be what?
Yo, Yo, I'm with them. I don't want to hear nothing about no basketball game after I see his hairline, dog. Oh, my God.
Still taking forever to inbound the ball. The pass. You have to switch it. Tenths of a second left. This is trying to hang on against the Hornets. Bellinelli.
That is insane. Yo, Marco. Marco.
And with 0.5 of a second.
To throw it.
Marco. Wasn't it didn't Jaylen Brown just give him his props? Let me see. Wait, who is where? Here, let me see. All right, we got a couple more things to talk about. Jaylen Brown was recently on with Blackboy Max. I had this to say as well. Let's take a look.
Giannis,
Talk to me.
Marco Bellinelli.
Marco Bellinelli. He played for the Spurs, right? Hello?
Yeah, hey, you know
Yeah. No, I was on 2K with it, bro. That ass, like.
Marco Bellinelli.
And wait, why was he so hard to guard?
Bro,
Like
Marco Bellinelli used to light me up, bro. He just used to never stop moving. And I used to have to chase him around the system we had. Used to chase Marco Bellinelli around all these different screens. And, like, he not even getting the ball. And he's still, like, moving back and forth. So you never know when he about to take off full speed and start running and catch the ball. But
and that just be tiring as hell.
Yeah, just fatigue, bro.
Great shout. A player, you know, people wouldn't expect someone like Jaylen Brown to shout out someone like that. Now, you know, from someone underrated to someone that's been labeled most overrated, the Charlotte Hornets superstar LaMelo Ball has been labeled the most overrated player in the NBA. Bleacher Report's Zach Buckley detailed the 5 most overrated players in the NBA, and Charlotte Hornets star LaMelo Ball was named. Tyrese Halliburton got such an honor from his NBA peers last season, but then he went on a legendary playoff run. My Ball need to do the same. 4 other names: De'Aaron Fox, Austin Reeves, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Tyler Hero. Scotty Barnes, John Morant, Domantas Sabonis were, dishonorable mention. So I think this is pretty accurate. I know that I've spoken very highly of LaMelo, but I think that proves exactly why this conversation is being had. You know, when he's healthy, the eye test, just some of the highlights, you know, at a quick glance, you're like, this guy should be competing for like an MVP award. But he's nowhere near that. And so I think because of that, you get the overrated stigma, even though he's like good for 25 in the league. I think it's because he's been good in stretches that it leaves a lot to be desired if you are a fan, if you are a basketball junkie, if you're just rating him or anything like that. And I think a part of it all is also he's in Charlotte, an absolutely awful organization that doesn't care about winning. So all of those things factor into it, but I think that is kind of it's kind of rightfully so at this point. Now, some of those other names, De'Aaron Fox. For as good as De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis is, I think that's why they both ended up on that list. You get 2 guys that are that good individually on Sacramento. They should have been able to at least compete for the playoffs on more than one occasion. I think it was like the similar situation with Phoenix. I don't want to hear anything about coaching. I don't want to hear about any of that stuff. The players that I'm seeing on paper, y'all should by accident win games. Right? That's how good Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox is, but we've seen them both underachieve in a winning sense. So I think De'Aaron Fox is in a situation right now where he could totally switch that. If he could impact winning on San Antonio with Wemby, he needs to be prepared, because this comes out, there are young guards on San Antonio. De'Aaron Fox is 1 season away from potentially being like a bench player or being widely considered as overrated or overpaid or any of those metrics. If De'Aaron Fox doesn't have a great season and San Antonio does not win the way people expect them to with Wemby, he is going to hear it. I don't think Wemby is going to hear it. I think Fox is going to hear it. So he's got to watch out. Austin Reeves, I mean, the playoffs is exactly what I expected to happen. He got kind of exposed. He has an opportunity to answer that. He has time still. But, some of these discussions of being on a different team, wanting a different role, he might bite off more than he could chew. He was able to do some of those things partly because he was on the floor with guys who create space. LeBron and Anthony Davis will create space for you, right? If you position yourself properly with the skill that Austin Reeves has, you can play one-on-one in space, right? And if we put you in a different situation where you're getting double-teamed a lot more consistently, do you do the same thing? I don't think so. At least not right now. So the most overrated, though, I don't know. But I could see why. Jaren Jackson Jr., again, talent, but a lot to be desired. Tyler Hero, I don't know if that's really right. Last year was the first season where he really was able to kind of be the guy, and I thought he did a good job of trying to transition into that role. So I don't know why he's on this list. Scotty Barnes, I don't know why he's on this list either. I think people see a lot of potential in him, but I don't think he's overrated necessarily. John Morant, he was an MVP candidate before a lot of that stuff, and I think a lot of people are also not taking into account injuries. Injuries, along with his off-the-court issues, are combining to make what the last 2 seasons have been, right? It's not like it was just the off-the-court stuff. The injuries have been paired with it, and we're looking for him to have a breakout year. I think it's definitely time. You can't go 2, 3, 4 years of down seasons before that ends up becoming your new reality. So I think we're looking for him to get back into that MVP form. And if he does, he's obviously off this list. And then we already spoke about Domantas Sabonis. And I spoke about Sabonis earlier on this season. I think it's just his play style. He's almost too unselfish to a fault. So But yeah, that's you know what? We're gonna end it right there. So this was gonna happen live for Battle of the Decade tomorrow night. I know we missed it all last week. Live tomorrow night, game 5, I think. I don't even remember, but we'll do that. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me as always. I appreciate you guys so much. Before I get out of here, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. But thank you guys so much. Thank you, Mom, for coming up, for pulling up. Thank you, Derpy. Thank you, Trent. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all could have been anywhere on the internet, but y'all were here with me, and I appreciate you for that. So thank you so much. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a great one.